movies with bad sound never do business. All right, let's start this. Okay, so what is bad about sound in the film industry? Are you probably thinking? Maybe you watch movies all the time on festivals or online or your friends or whatever. You don't really notice anything bad or particularly in need of improvement. But I'm gonna tell you, when I said bad sound, most people is probably thinking about the sound design and the sound mixing. That is not what I'm talking about. I wish that was what I was talking about. Why? Okay, this is the answer. Usually, as a sound mixer, I've been a sound mixer in the film industry, independent film industry in New York City for 15, well, in the New York City for 10 to 11 years, but in general for 15 years. And the number one problem I see, or I face, or I have faced in my past and in the present as well, is that they always call me when it's too late. They always call me the week before or 2 weeks before or something along those lines, or even sometimes days before start shooting. Why is this a problem? Because that means that sound for these productions is an afterthought. They don't really consider it during pre-production, and a lot of pre-production needs to be done for a production sound adventure to be successful. You cannot really record proper sound without having everything you need prepared. Without preparing everything you need from the script. It can get very complicated very fast. But this is what happens. You face a challenging situation, you show up on set and you are not prepared to face it. You could have rented additional equipment or bought additional equipment or just brought, because sometimes it's one person doing everything, okay, in the sound department, and you cannot carry every single possible piece of equipment with you. So you need an assistant, at least two assistants. The last challenging project I have, I did for doing sound. We were a crew of 4 people doing sound, 3 at a time, and it was challenging, but we did it. But again, it was challenging because there was no pre-production for sound. Okay, if we had pre-production on every movie, that would guarantee that the recordings on production is good. It's usable. I have done movies in which 100% of the sound that we recorded on set was usable. That is great for a production because it saves them time and money on the back end when they are doing the sound design. And this is when it becomes notorious that having good sound recording on set allows for the budget that you have allocated for your post-production to be focused on the creative stuff. So many times, independent films cannot get to be creative with their sound design because they spend most of the time fixing the bad sound that they're recording on set. And they recorded bad sound most of the time because they didn't do a proper pre-production stage, or because they didn't hire the right people. But the right people is not necessarily people with more or with less experience. It's about personalities. The sound department is one of the most disrespected departments on a film production, and it's often challenging to deal with the egos of the other departments who get in the way or sometimes directly sabotage our work by having noisy things or set, or by not giving us proper time to wire the actors or to place the microphones in the right positions. You see my position in this microphone is good. Sometimes on a film set, they have lights and stuff, and you cannot put your microphone in a good place. Therefore, you are sacrificing your sound, which ends up being recorded poorly. And then during post-production, you have to focus on fixing it instead of the creative stuff. So, many times a recording is not good, not because of the sound mixer, not because of the sound mixer's skills or experience, but rather because they don't have the personality or the guts to stand up for themselves and face the people or the other departments who are getting in the way, or who won't allow for the sound to do a good job, to be recorded in a proper place. In that case, whenever those kinds of conflicts happen on set, What I usually do is I just talk to the producer or to the director, and I tell them, "It's your decision. This is the problem we have. It's your movie." At the end of the day, I go home and I forget about this. I don't have to deal with this. But you, as the producer, you have to deal with that. You're gonna have to find a way to fix it in post, and if you can't fix it in post, you're gonna have to find the budget to do ADR. Because if your sound is no good, guess what? You won't be able to sell your movie. So you may as well not do anything. So that's my advice for today. I think this video is long enough, and I'll see you next time.